Lights, camera, action. Let's start the show. Here's a little bit of wedding advice from me to help your love story unfold. Welcome back, lovebirds. This is your wedding series, and today we are in season 3, episode 6. We are talking about save the dates. These are before you send an invitation to your wedding, you want people to save the dates. You want them to look at their calendar and put your wedding date on it. Now, some people may think, okay, I have to go all out for my save the dates. And you can. This is where you can decide, am I going to do hard stationery like paper with envelopes and a stamp in order to mail it to them? Or am I going to go digital? And this is where they're going to get a text message and they will be able to put on their save the date on their calendar and things like that. Now, when you send out a save the date, you're not necessarily looking for them to respond to you. You're just simply announcing, here's the date, and you may even have something on there like a picture of your venue so that people get an idea of what the style of wedding that you're having. Not everybody goes that route. A lot of people will just simply put an engagement photo on the front of their save the dates, which is fine. I suggest that you put a proposal picture on there because it tells your story even more so. They're just a lot more real, raw, and in the moment of your love. And so I would actually put that on your save the date. Going digital is really great because then you get to save a lot of paper. You also get to save money. So as you know, it costs money to make any kind of stationery or invitation. Even if you're going to do it at home on your computer and print them out, you're still going to need envelopes and you're still going to need postage stamps. And then you got to sit there and write everybody's address on each and every stamp. You could also print these out. Now, this is if you're doing it yourself. If you're not going to do it yourself, you could have a printing invitation place to make your save the dates for you, and that is sufficient as well. That's just up to you, really. So it depends on how much money you would like to spend when it comes to your save the dates. But if you are a DIY bride, this is where you would either print them off from your computer, you would make them in some form of a program that you can make invitations in, and this is going to be, this is your personalization. Some people are sending out postcards for their save the dates. I would not recommend this. If you send a postcard out for your save the date and you don't have an envelope, then everyone's going to know where your wedding is, what time it is, and who's getting married. You don't want to do that. You don't want the whole world to know. So postcards, while very cute, I do think that they are going to give away everything to your private day. Unless you want the whole world to know, then that's up to you. But I would not go the postcard route because usually with a postcard, you don't have an envelope, you just have the stamp. And so you would write the invitation on there or everything on, because it's not really an invite. It's just really, it is an invite, but it's just more of an announcement saying, save our date, here is our date. And yes, you are inviting them, but you're not wanting them to turn around and send you back an RSVP. So those are the save the date options. What I like about the digital option is that, of course, you get to save money because you can go and get this as less expensive as you possibly want. Meaning you could even make up a save the date on your phone. You could create just a little flyer, just a little something, and there's many programs on your phone that will allow you to do that. You can go in and create this very quickly, and you can even literally take a photo and then just write text on it, and that has like your save the date on it. We got an invitation like that recently from someone, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with being that simple. And it was just a text message. So we didn't have to do anything. They just wanted us to know, save this date, for their wedding. So that is your save the date. We are doing this episode because I want you to realize that there are options out there, that you don't have to go the traditional option with the paper. And also, I don't know how traditional that is. I know that a lot of people are like, oh, that's a traditional way. But I think the traditional way would be word of mouth. I think like that's what they would have done a long time ago in tradition, is that they would have just invited you through word of mouth. Here's the day, here's the place, hope to see you there, you know? And then later on, they would do the same thing for the wedding invitation and just get your RSVP within, that day or weeks of the time, because they would see each other in the village. So obviously now most of us don't live in a village. We don't live near any of our family and friends. We can't even walk to our friend's house. We can't even walk to our family's house. So most people are either going to do the postage route or they're going to do the digital route. And just remember, some people are going to think it's crazy to do digital and like, oh, this is terrible. It's not their wedding. Just remember that. If you want to go to digital route, you can. You can also look and see programs online for the digital route that will cost, and there's some that are just completely free, or you can just make it on your own on your phone and then send it through a text message. Now we are at the budget binder. In the budget binder today, you're going to be putting in the save the dates, and you're going to be writing down parent of the bride. That is who is paying for the save the dates. And if you want to know ahead of time, the parents of the bride are going to be paying for all the stationery in the wedding. So they'll be paying for the wedding invites later on whenever we get to those as well. But in this one, they are paying for the save the date. So if you will be spending money on it, they're the ones that traditionally pays for it. Remember, you may or may not have the parents of the bride pay for certain things. It's really up to you. We are just talking about traditionally who pays. Yay! We're at the episode called Be My Guest. This is the segment of our episode where I invite you to be my guest here on Your Wedding Series. If you have sent out your save the dates, or if you are curating them right now, you're planning your wedding at this moment, or you've already planned a wedding before and you sent out your save the dates, I want to hear from you. I want to hear how that process went for you. Did you end up doing stationery? Why did you end up doing stationery? Did you end up doing the digital way? I know that some people who do the digital way will also print out a copy for their photo album books so that they will have a copy of it, at least for themselves, maybe even for their parents or their grandparents. That's something that we did. So that's always an option too, if you do the digital route, to at least have a copy of it for yourselves. If you got a save the date, so if you're a wedding guest out there and you would like to be on Your Wedding Series podcast, and let's say you got a save the date and you thought that it was so amazing, you thought it was like designed so beautifully, or maybe you thought, wow, I wonder why they did this and didn't just send me, stationery. Or if you got stationery, you're like, wait, why didn't they just do this digital? Because they could have saved so much money. Like, they really didn't have to waste money on sending me a save the date, So I want to hear from all of you, either wedding guests or people that are my couples that are planning their weddings, or ones who've already planned their weddings, to be on Your Wedding Series. Now, the way you do that is you're going to send me an email, get the conversation started, and then from there, I'm going to send you some interview questions, see what you think. We're going to do a video call together where I'm going to record it, and then I'm going to put it up on the podcast if you are okay with that. So that's going to be the process. We'll get to share with the world and help them out in their planning. This podcast is all about planning your wedding the right way from 14-year-old you. Then we fast forward it to the age in which you got engaged. Now, everyone gets engaged at a different time. So, that's a different that's a different story. Well, we did fast forward into the age in which you got engaged, and now we're planning your wedding. But if you would like to be on the Wedding Series podcast, send me an email at yourcontentcreator@yahoo.com. And guess what, lovebirds? You already know what I'm gonna say. That's the end of the episode. I know. I will see you all in the next one. Bye, lovebirds.
Lights, camera, action, baby, strike a pose. Phones and cameras out, just watch it all unfold. We're the stars of the show, ain't no need for filters. Living life through the lens, capturing our breath. Put away your phones and cameras, let the good times roll. Our content creators got it all under control. From weddings to events, parties, travel and brands, we're living the paparazzi life. It's all in our hands. Lights, camera, action, we're ready to go. We're professionals, don't you already know? From TikTok to Instagram.